This afternoon after work, Daddy and I went to Kroger to get some things for dinner and a couple things we needed around the house. Of course, they had Starbucks. There was a sign saying that they had pumpkin in already, so I went ahead and got a pumpkin cold brew. Now that I'm done shopping, Daddy and I are going to go ahead and start checking out at the self-checkout line. We always check out here at the self-checkout. We've just gotten into the habit of scanning and bagging our own groceries, so even when we have over 15 or 10 items, we still use the self-checkout. Daddy and I have been at the grocery store a lot lately. We usually will think of dinner ideas either a day before or the actual day and then go shopping to get what we need. Every now and then, we will know what we're making ahead of time and go ahead and get groceries early. But it's really rare because we don't like to keep a lot of frozen meat in the freezer just because we like to have extra room in the freezer and we like everything fresh. So once we get everything bagged here, we're going to go pick up King from school so we can get settled at home. Well, we made it home. Right now, King and I are outside playing with chalk. Normally when we get home, we will just set them down in the house. We usually don't go outside. But tonight when I came home, I did bring home chalk and King wanted to play with it right away. Right now, I'm talking to King because he's telling me exactly what he wants me to draw. He has a really big imagination and it's so cute. He's telling me exactly what he wants pictured. As you can see, we have a train track with a train. We have a couple shapes here. On this side we have our names. And he wanted me to draw a dinosaur, so I did the best I could right here. I think this would be considered a brontosaurus. And this way we have a robot. I am cooking dinner tonight, shockingly. Mark Anthony usually cooks dinner, so I haven't cooked dinner in a while, so Mark Anthony requested that I make one of his favorite meals tonight. It's like a Salisbury steak and gravy dish. I make little hamburger patties and it's like smothered in onions and gravy, and we like to pair that with mashed potatoes and a side of greens. The first thing that I'm doing is slicing my onion into thin slices. Whenever I make this meal, slicing the onions is always the first thing I like to do, just because this is what takes me the longest. So I already pre-seasoned and rolled up our ground beef into small little patties. Here we have our mushrooms, our onions, and I already pre-mixed some gravy mix that I have sitting here in this bowl. Here we have our pan oiled up, so right now I'm going to turn on the stove so the oil can get hot. Now that the oil is hot, I'm going to get the ground beef into the pan. So I did make up a lot of these patties here, so I'm just going to put in as many as I can at a time. So as you can see, I was only able to get 7 of these patties in the pan at a time. I will get the remaining patties once I cook all of these first. So Daddy and I, we always like to cook a lot whenever we make meals because we want to have leftovers. We don't care about eating leftovers more than once. We love eating leftovers. I will eat my leftovers for dinner the next day, or I will either pack it for lunch. If I eat this for lunch, I'll eat something new for dinner, or if I pack something different for lunch, I will have my leftovers for dinner. Here we have all of the first batch of patties done, so now I'm going to get the remaining ones and place them in the pan, and hopefully these shouldn't take long since the pan is already hot. So now that I have the patties out, I've added butter to this pan. I'm now adding my onions, and I'm going to add mushrooms. With this, I'm going to add seasoning. So here I have seasoning mixed with the onions and mushroom. I did also add some fresh minced garlic to this pan. Now I'm going to continue to mix and saute all of this together until it's soft to my liking. Right now, the house is smelling so good with all of the seasoning and garlic here in this pan. So now that I've sauteed the onions and the mushrooms, I'm pouring in my gravy mix that I already prepped earlier. Now that I've got this gravy mix boiling, I'm going to add the beef patties back into the pan. Once I get all the patties into the pan, I will just cover this and let this simmer on the stove so the gravy mix can thicken up and everything gets to my liking. Here's our finished product. Everything came out so good and so juicy. As you can see, I paired it with some mashed potatoes and some greens. So we have dessert in the house. This is totally not normal, but the fact that we do have dessert, I had to show you guys what we had. So Daddy wanted to make banana pudding for the first time, something that I've been asking him to do. So right now I'm just going to get me a small little piece. Well, thank you guys so much for spending the evening with us. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.